Hey, how's it going? 28 minutes later. We started a little late, but that's okay. Roopster, hey, how's it going? First one on there. Love it. Thank you for joining us. So today, let us know, well, first and foremost, let us know if there is anything that I could improve on the fly or whatnot. So today's going to be pretty simple because we got a couple exciting things that are coming up in the Talking Runs, Making Runs, in the rack shows upcoming. So sometime after the 15th, which is tomorrow basically, I will be having a guest speaker that I'm pretty excited about having on. I really look up to this dude. If you look up any of the history behind this person, you'll see that he's more like a lot of us. We have a lot in common. He's definitely had a very colorful path. Who else do we have in here? Backyard Billiards. Hey, how's it going? How you doing? Without really giving the farm away. Well, I'm going to give the farm away because I'm super excited about it. I'm in negotiation with Rodney Morris to come on and do an interview with him. So that's pretty exciting. For those of you who are old timers like me, you guys know exactly who Rodney Morris is. So that's going to be in the future, near future. We just have to talk and see when he's going to have some time to come on.
I like his shooting style too.
And hang out. Yes. For those of you who do not recognize this guy over here, his name is Thor. He is the son of Odin. He has his arms crossed because he is badass. No, this is Jeff Ost. Skill level 8 and 9, 7 and 8 ball. Very good shooter. He's going to be joining us today as we talk about air drums, health, and pool, how they tie in with each other. So we're going to start it off by a question. And that question is, how big are your feet? I'm just joking. I don't care how big your feet are. But no, before we actually get started, I wanted to tell you guys about the Invitational Local Cup that we just had. I know it was a very lengthy live stream. If you caught any of it, thanks for coming on, checking us out. It was really fun. It was 8 hours worth. But yeah, it was really fun playing. We had some good commentary from Dan. Even Jeff got in there, so soft-spoken that he is. I think it was because when he was, up in Olympus, I think he was beat. So they're like, oh, no. But, no, seriously, we had a lot of fun. So the next Invitational Cup that's coming up is going to be on the 20th of February. We already have a challenging team. I will say this to everybody who's catching this stream. If you've been on Facebook and you saw the comments on there, there is a little bit of, would you say, like bad feelings there. And that is not my intention whatsoever for anybody. So, I mean, like it's a work in progress. It was definitely something to get off the ground for people to watch and enjoy. And actually for the local people here to compete in and have fun as well. So, I mean, it was a work in progress, but for some reason it got off to a bad start. So I want to apologize to everybody who inquired about playing and then you didn't get picked or whatnot. It was totally random. It was out of my hands. But again, it's how it's rolling. So, Roopster, I see some beers. Nice. Perfect now. Great. Chuck's on there. Good. All right, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and just launch off what we're going to talk about today. Jeff, first of all, let me ask you this. When you go play tournaments, what is your preparation?
Preparations? Well, a few important ones would be hydration, and I make sure I stretch out really good the day before a big tournament, so I'm nice and loose and limber. I don't have to worry about sore muscles or leg cramps while I'm shooting. that could be a big distraction.
True.
Hydration is one of the important things to do before, because when you drink water, essentially you're hydrating your body for the following day, because it has to disperse and go to areas that need it. And so sometimes when you just drink a bunch of water, you're quenching temporary thirst, but you're not really hydrating yourself at that time. So if you hydrate the day before, the next day you'll feel great, you won't get dehydrated easily, and quenching your thirst will keep you going.
Absolutely, I agree with that. So we got a question already in the chat room. Backyard Billiards. Jeff, what cue do you use?
I shoot with a Predator SP Revo 2 with a 12.4.
Why did you choose to shoot with that?
Well, also I use a Kamui Super Soft Tip.
Oh, okay.
Why did I shoot with that? Because I thought it looked cool.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's
I
true.
always wanted the carbon fiber since it came out, but it was always out of my price range, and then I just buckled down, saved up, and got one finally.
Understandable.
I also shoot with I also have the BK Rush brake cue, and my jump cue is an Obi Lift Pro.
Oh, okay. Backyard Billiards. Says nice.
Thank you.
So what we were talking about was hydration. First of all, those of you who are out there, have you ever been in a match and you haven't drank any water, or let's say that you've been drinking, even drinking alcohol like liquor and stuff like that, is more of a dehydration,
Oh, yeah.
right? Have you ever had that situation where you're shooting and whatnot, and it's just not working out for you, or you're just starting to make like horrible decisions and shots like that? A lot of it is probably because you're dehydrated. And why would you be in that state when you're dehydrated?
Dehydration really affects your concentration and your ability to focus, without a doubt. Not only that, but it leads to quicker muscle fatigue, leads to muscle cramps. I mean, the list is long. If I was a medical expert, I could go on for a while, but
Right.
I'm not.
So some of the things that I do, we all have our routines that we do when we get ready for a tournament that that is pretty significant to you, or at least that you feel that is significant. Rest is one of mine. So if I know that I'm going to be shooting, I try to fight through the excitement of knowing that I'm going to go and compete the next day. So I kind of make sure that I go to sleep early. 2, I actually plan out my wardrobe. And the reason why I say that is because if I feel like I look good, I feel like I'm going to shoot good. And that's another thing. I do drink water and make sure that I eat a well-balanced dinner, or breakfast for that matter, going in, but not too much, because when you eat too much, you're kind of lethargic and bloaty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then I have to wear Spanx.
Strap on a Gertie.
Gertie. Or girder. No, that's not the right. Girdle?
Girdle?
A girdle. Yeah. For those of you who are over 45, you guys are going to know what that is. So
They probably got one on right now.
you got to go old school. All right, going to the chat. We got Backyard saying, Jeff. We already answered that. He also wants you to know that he uses a Kamui Soft Clear. The Muchi that I have is most expensive cue I owned.
Mucci.
Muchi?
Earl Strickland can jump whole tables with a Mucci.
Really? Backyard, how much is your cue, or is the Muchi cue, and why is it so expensive? While you're answering that, so I see that you wrote down some notes. What do you got there?
Yeah, I want to talk about potential video we're making up soon. It's based on stretching for pool players.
Ah, interesting. In the chat room, we got Russian Crush Gaming. Hey, what's up? How you doing, dude? Thanks for joining us. If you're just now joining, we're talking about how important it is to be physically fit, or at least do some kind of stretching and pre-gaming, if you will, before a match or before you know that you're going to have a long session of pool playing. Back to the chat room, backyard billiards with the carbon fiber shaft. I have 1,000 in it. Wow, that is a very expensive stick. So, with expensive sticks, I hope you don't leave it in your car. I hope you don't leave it in inclement weather. Even though the carbon fiber shafts aren't supposed to warp like the wood shafts would, but still though, $1,000. That must be in the inlays and stuff like that, huh? So, okay. Anyway, yeah. So the upcoming video that we're gonna try to put together is. You said it's kind of lengthy, right? So we're going to have to cut it up in some sections?
Well, initially so, but I think for the first one as kind of a sample to see how it goes and what kind of support it gets, we'll do just a quick warm-up and then a series of stretches related to pool playing and the muscles that fatigue and get tight from extensive match playing and long tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You should check that out. Yeah.
And it'll be a video that you can watch and just kind of go along with and stretch yourself out. Maybe like the day before a big tournament.
To the chat room, we have Backyard Billiards saying, well, the shaft was 400 and the stick was 600. It came with a black dot shaft. It's interesting.
That's about how much mine was. My Predator SP2 was 1,000 even.
The shaft or the whole thing?
The whole thing.
Oh, okay, the whole thing. All right, that makes sense. So that brings up something interesting. If you still shoot with the old traditional wood, let us know what you shoot with and let us know how much that bad boy is. So that can't be all that you have on your paper.
Oh, no.
What else you got?
I mean, the biggest reason I wanted to do this is because fitness and flexibility is not something that people associate with playing pool. I mean, a lot of people just start out playing pool at the bar with their buddies, and it just kind of progresses from there. So it's not really thought of as a sport that requires athleticism to some degree. Although it does. Don't get me wrong, I'm not making assumptions about everybody.
I think that's why Earl Strickland considers pool a sport.
Could be.
I find it. Well, I mean, it is challenging, kind of like how it is for me to speak English. But if you've ever played pool or been at Vegas or whatnot, and you've been sitting there and playing for like 12 hours, it takes a lot. It takes a lot out of it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've been dozens of times where I'm at the pool hall for 14, 15 hours nonstop, and I've been playing probably 70 to 80% of the time, and it wears down pretty good physically and mentally.
Absolutely. So, Russian Crutch says, "Okay, I'm going to do some pull-ups for you guys." God bless you if you're able to do pull-ups, because that's always been my downfall, is trying to do pull-ups.
Yeah, I'm too heavy to do those right now. I could do them 40, 50 pounds ago, no problem.
Couple years from now, I will probably be able to do one pull-up, which would consider to be the pens, because those are pull-ups. I should be able to do those, no problem. But you know what? He brings up a good point, though. If you're able to do pull-ups and stuff like that, that works out the back muscles.
Yep.
Is there a benefit in being able to do pull-ups?
Well, sure. Upper back muscles are really important because a lot of the time when you're bending over a table, those muscles are being extended and pulled on by your shoulders being inward and forward. So in that process, your upper back muscles will get worn down, and if they're not strong enough, they'll fatigue very quickly, and that could cause eventual pain. And having pain while you're trying to shoot pool is going to cause distractions.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this tutorial is on the back muscle.
What is that?
Well, we're gonna do this. So, what was I saying? What were you saying?
I don't know. I got distracted.
So V. So we're gonna put.
I mean, doing pull-ups isn't enough, of course. You have
I
to
can
be able
barely
to-
walk. I would walk a couple of
All aspects of fitness are important.
Absolutely. I agree.
blocks and have to stop.
It's terrible. All right, let's just cut that idea out.
What you doing there?
I don't know. All right, back to studio mode. Here we go. All right. Yeah. So,
Some more reasons why I want to do stretching and flexibility. I mean, flexibility is one of those things that a lot of people assume that they're either flexible or they're not, and they don't understand that flexibility is just something you have to work at and can achieve pretty easily as long as you kind of dedicate yourself to small routines here and there and turn it into, kind of a daily habit, and then the difference you'll feel is miraculous.
yeah. So, what's the first stretch that you would suggest in doing?
Well, the one I do a lot, that's probably the easiest to do
And what
To
part
have-
of the body?
to have a good effect is if you stand with your feet about shoulder width apart and you just bend over and touch your toes with your knees straight. I mean, that's going to get almost everything: your hamstrings, your glutes, your lower back, your upper back, part of your neck.
Your hamstrings. What the heck is a hamstring?
Hamstring. Who said hamstring? I
You
said
did. You said
It's a
hamstring.
hamstring.
All right. So are we? Let's see what you're talking about here.
Oh, that's flat back.
Or flat back. No, keep talking. You got to keep on talking while I'm doing
Sorry.
this. You're not supposed to pay attention to what I'm doing over here while you.
I'm
talk
new with
about.
this. So, stretching out your back like that and your hamstrings is really important, especially for pool playing, because hamstrings are some of the muscles that get tightest, the fastest, due from prolonged standing. In your stance, bending over the table, getting back up. Those muscles are constantly being worked, along with your lower back and mid back muscles. So from playing pool all day, those get affected the most. And so just a simple forward fold, keep your knees straight, and try to reach down to touch your toes.
So this stretch right here.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm sure you can do that right now, right?
Big definite. You know what? I wouldn't leave the house if I could do stretches like that. I would be, yeah.
Just a simple stretch like that can have a major effect and help you feel looser. It makes you feel lighter.
Well, I would definitely be able to, I'd definitely be able to smell my shins. All right, so you're saying that this would be good right here.
Not for beginner, no.
Okay. All right, so if you're just now catching what we're putting down, we're talking about females who are very flexible. No, I'm just joking. We're talking about health, being flexible, being in good health while you play. To catch up on the live chat, let's see, where are we at? Backyard, do you have a pre-shot routine?
Pre-shot routine.
Yeah.
I do, but I don't really know how to explain that. I'm
Backyard
a great
said that-
co-host, huh?
Yeah, Backyard said that she farted. How do you know? Do you know this girl? That's weird. Anyway, yeah. Well, if we're talking pre-shot, let me explain my pre-shot. So my pre-shot is this. It's basically I take the chuck and I step outside of the shadow of the table. That gives me perspective and a standard when I'm looking and surveying the table because that gets me far enough that I can see the layout of the table. And then in my mind, I'm already looking at, the run out and how crucial the next shot is going to be. Excuse me. Sorry. But yeah, so I step outside of the shadow of the table because all lights cast a shadow from the top, and then if you look on the floor, there's that shadow that's casted by the table. If you step outside of that and you mentally get prepared for the shot, once you step into the shadow, you got to commit to what you decided to do. So then it's a chalk, get down, stroke about 3 times, concentrate on where I'm hitting, because if you're trying to concentrate on too many things, that's where you start doing things wrong. So that's my pre-shot routine.
Well, I guess one part of my pre-shot routine I could describe is almost every single shot, I will take a look at it from back and square at my shoulders and look at the shot exactly where it needs to go, and then move to where I need to in order to shoot that.
Yeah. Catching up on the live chat once again, Todd Elson. Hey, how's it going? Haven't talked to you in a while. Yes, I know. I owe you. You know what? I owe you an email about the 10 ball. We're gonna get on that. I swear to God. It's just that it's been kind of hectic with work and whatnot. Haven't forgot about it. Plus, we had our first invitational local cup. What else do we have? Oh, the practice room, Dana. Hey, how's it going? Thank you, sir. Nice to see that you have joined us. Always good to have you on. It's awesome. If you're just now joining us, we're trying to cover the importance about being physically fit, or at least having a stretching and preparation routine before you know that you're going to be playing for quite some time. So, what do you got?
So, other good reasons to have a stretch routine. So, one good example would be joint pain. A lot of people don't realize that joint pain, not all the time, but usually comes from tight muscles connected to that joint. And people don't realize because the joint hurts, they don't associate with the part that doesn't hurt, which is causing the problem. So a good example, let's see, like low back pain. Low back pain is one of the most common things in the world. And actual studies have shown that a lot of low back pain comes from your glutes being too tight. Now, when those muscles are tight, they're pulling down on your hips and your sacrum. So those muscles pulling that stuff out of alignment will affect your back, which is, the big post that keeps you upright and what your whole body, uses.
Yeah, no. That makes total sense.
So by pulling that out of alignment, now your low back is not functioning properly. The muscles are not functioning properly like they should. And over time, that causes fatigue. And over time, that fatigue causes weakness. And that weakness turns to pain. So something as simple as just stretching your glutes out can relieve a ton of low back pain. And you would be surprised.
Your glutes.
Yes, that would be your butt cheek muscles.
Butt cheeks. I like to stretch my butt cheeks. But catching up on the live stream, we got Backyard Billiards once again chiming in. If I'm going to be at a big tournament, it's not so much the physical side of it, it's more you get mentally drained and tired.
That's also something that stretching can help with, because by stretching out tight muscles and enabling that flexibility, you're allowing more blood circulation throughout your body and to your brain. Now, doing that, you get more oxygen to your brain, which relieves stress, gives you better mood, allows you to think clearer and keep focused. I mean, stretching covers so much area, it's crazy. Once I started getting into it and started to learn more and more and more about it, and it's a great thing to do. It's a great habit.
I agree with you. Because when sometimes your stroke relies on how comfortable you are. If you're tight, let's say that you're playing somewhere where it's cold or somewhere where there's just a lot of stressors like noise stressors, of course that's going to make your muscles tense. If you haven't stretched, it's hard to recover from being tense. And that causes you to, miscue and stuff like that.
Not only that, but it could lead to joint pain, and now you have joint pain causing more distractions and causing more stress on yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're like me, who's about 105, and the only reason why I look young is because I'm Asian and I eat a lot of rice, joint pain is very, very, it weighs on your mind when you're shooting too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen me shoot, but I got a messed up pinky. Gives me joint pain, but it looks weird, right? And then on my wrist, I have a bone spur that's coming out of my wrist. So, if I don't keep that stretched and limber, it definitely gives me problems. So, backyard billiards says, you could go 2 or 3 hours without playing, and by the time you play, you're cold and tired. And cold meaning not warmed up. Practicing any. Excuse me. Here's the thing though. I think that if you're a seasoned player, and there's arguments about this, and that's fine, What is this? Alright. I'm going to diagnose a problem here real quick because this looks weird. Alright, what was I saying?
I don't know. I was reading your error message.
Oh, okay. So what I'm saying is that, if you have been shooting a lot, well practiced or whatnot, usually it should take you about 3 or 4 shots to get you back in stroke. If it takes you longer than that, then there's something else that's stopping you from getting tuned in, and that could be the difference between why some of us aren't pros to us just never going above that level where you can be competitive or whatnot. So, if I know that I'm going to, I can shoot, and if I start shooting bad, it could be because, there's other things that I'm just not being focused. So
Another thing to help with that too is when you've been sitting a while and you start to get cold as far as your playing ability, and sometimes you do
light yourself on fire.
You do feel physically cold from sitting too long, and then you get up to shoot and you feel stiff, and it just kind of throws off your focus. Good thing to do would be like ballistic stretches. So ballistic stretches are stretches you do that are
ballistic
motion
stretches.
They're motion stretches. So swinging your arms around, that's a ballistic stretch for your shoulder. You can do some of those to kind of warm your body back up and get ready to get in there. So if you look at pro athletes, like guys who are getting ready to go in the ring, guys who are ready to dive into the pool for the swim competition, you see them doing ballistic stretches. That's because they're getting ready, they're getting warmed up. It's because they've been sitting for a while too. So
I think gorillas do ballistic stretches too.
you might look kind of silly doing it, but if you're there to play and you're there to win, who cares what you look like?
Who cares? You're absolutely right. You know what? You're there to have fun or whatnot. So if you need to do some ballistic stretches, do your ballistic stretches.
That's also a good thing to do the day of a big tournament is in the morning, and you're getting ready to go. Let yourself warm up a little light jogging, and then you want to do ballistic stretching before a big tournament, because if you do a lot of static heavy stretching where you're just holding a specific position and you're not moving, that's called static stretching. Now that can have a little bit more impact on your muscles for that day. So that can actually throw off your muscle memory, which will affect your game. And I've experienced this, the hard way. I did a lot of long static stretching in the morning before I went to a big tournament, and it threw me off because my muscle memory was not functioning properly. And I've done that with big workouts too. You never want to do a big workout before a big matchup or a big tournament, because those fatigued and tired muscles will affect your muscle memory for your pool playing ability. You're smiling.
Because I want to explain to the viewers out there how difficult it is when one of your puppies that you just got farted and it's filling the room up with gas.
I assumed it was you.
It was not me. But yeah, anyway, sorry. You make a good point. So going back to the chat. It is thick in here. But going back to the chat, Todd says that he does resistance stretching. Todd, explain to us what resistance stretching is. What do you think that is?
I'm not sure. I've never heard of resistant stretching.
Resistant stretching. Is that where you put like yourself against the wall and you grab your legs to pull yourself closer? Not 100% sure. Ken Allen, how's it going? Thank you for joining us. A poetic voice. Says Dante, how's it going, brother? Good to see you. Thank you. It's good to see you. It's good to be seen. I appreciate all the support that you have given in the past. I appreciate it big time. All right. Well, while Todd explains what static stretching is, let's move on to cardio. Do you think cardio is important to like do some cardio before you come in and play your game?
I don't know about doing it before your game. I mean, it depends on your fitness ability. So, like, for example, you doing cardio before a big tournament actually helps you kind of get some steam out and just kind of relax a little more. But for somebody me who doesn't do cardio often, I do more weight training than cardio. That would probably have more of a negative impact on me if I did it before.
You bring up a good point because like the time that we qualified for Vegas back in I think 2017, when we went to regionals. Is it regionals or cities? We went to cities back at Malarkey's, right? That morning, I got up and ran 2 miles, and at the tail end of it, one of my teammates was driving by, and he was actually kind of upset at me because instead of trying to get to the pool hall early to go shoot, I was running, you know? But on that day, I think I shot very well because of that. Because my mind was clear, my body was full of endorphins, which made me feel good, you know? And I think that's where that came from. So, go ahead.
Like I said, it's really dependent on your personal fitness ability and what kind of routines you already have.
Right. Absolutely. Let's see. Todd says using a rope, towel, or resistance band to stretch. That makes sense.
Okay.
Russian Crush. Earl says run 5 miles in the morning. I'm not going to lie. I'm a smoker. But don't get me wrong. I can run 5 miles, but it hurts. And breathing in this cold weather in Washington is equally horrible. But because I am in federal, or how should I say this? Since I am in the military, I do have to maintain a certain cardio, what is it? Stamina. So I do run. I try to run every day, but it usually turns into a walk because I'm elderly.
I can't even run because I've got arthritis in both ankles, so running and jogging is off the board for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Todd says pull the bands with one set of muscles to stretch the other, then switch.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, we're going to do some research on that. That sounds like a great idea.
Now with stretching...
Backyard says I do beer lifting.
With stretching, once again, it's important not to just dive into it. I mean, I hope you're intrigued by the information we're trying to run across, but don't get excited about it and jump out and stretch your legs right off your body. This is something you got to ease into. To start off with a little bit and a little more and a little more, and try to build up, turn it into a habit and a routine, and eventually you'll be surprised at how flexible you've become and how it affects your pool game in the long run.
Yep. All right. Well, we're getting to that hour. Even though that we started about 20 minutes late, I do want to keep the show at least until 2000 or 8 o'clock for those of you who like the normal civilian time. But I think there was a lot of good information that Jeff is putting down. I'm excited that we're going to start working on a stretching video for pool players because I think it's beneficial, especially, and I'm not ashamed to say it, because in a couple days I turn 47, and it is important to stay limber and whatnot. So I'm excited about getting this video together. So that'd be awesome.
Another thing I want to add too is that when we release this video, if it gets enough support and gets enough, likes and views, and everybody's really supportive of what we're doing and really enjoys it, I may even come up with a fitness program for pool players, and it's because I've been in a lot of injuries over the last 10 years, and I've done a lot of physical therapy, I've done a lot of working out, and I'm doing everything I can to improve my physical ability because of all these injuries I have. So I've learned a lot over the last few years, and I've even considered becoming a certified personal trainer for the sake of creating this fitness program. So if that's something that everybody thinks they might enjoy and actually use, then I think that's something we could dedicate to.
And that's what a lot of us are trying to do. We're, especially being content creators, is that we want to follow and be influential to people who want to listen or are looking for this information or whatnot. And not only that, he gets to do something that he loves and dreams about doing. So best of luck. You can definitely use this platform to express that. I have no qualms about that, and I hope it takes off.
We can call it Pool 90X.
Pool 90X.
Just kidding.
And then
don't sue me, Tony Horton, please.
No, don't sue me, because this is actually my channel. Look for him. His name is Jeff Off. Yeah. So if you complete the whole thing, you get to meet Odin himself, and then I think Hondo's in there.
We'll do push-ups together.
You guys will do push-ups, and then I think he's neighbors with neighbors.
Yeah.
Neighbors, yeah, get to them. Neighbors with Zeus. See, I just screwed up the punchline. Neighbors with Zeus, and you guys can go fishing or something like that. But anyway, yeah. Thanks a lot for joining us. One more look at the live stream. We got Russian Crush. Oh, we already talked about that. All right, check it. Todd's 53. Congratulations. Over on the other side of a century old. So.
Man, you guys are old.
Yeah.
I'll be 34 next weekend.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with you. All right. So upcoming things, just like I said earlier. Hopefully, in the next week or so, I will have Rodney Morris in an interview. That's going to be exciting. I'll definitely put that out and let you guys know when he will show up. It's going to be via Google Meets, so he's going to be where he's at, and I'm going to have a chance to interview him, and we'll talk about his road to being a pro, what it's like to be a pro, and then he'll probably explain some aspects of the game that he came up with, which is called the Rocket Runout. And then a little bit of TSPN, which there's a lot of people around here that play on a serious note. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. And then I'm also in the talks with talking. I actually got hold of Aaron Appleton. He told me to get in contact with him through his Facebook, so I'm gonna see how that turns out. And then hopefully try to get some other pros just to come on and whatnot, and hopefully they'll bring some entertainment. I hope you guys stick around for that. Upcoming February 20th is the next the next invitational local cup. So look out for that. That should be a lot of fun. Jeff's actually playing in that again. So yeah, so that should be good. Again, I love you guys. Thank you very much for all the support. Thank you for all the sharing. I couldn't have got to 390 subscribers without your guys' help. Be good to each other, and I hope for this year coming up that you find your fortune and stay in good health. Jeff, you got anything?
Now, hopefully, we should start filming our stretch videos soon. I'm still writing out the script and figuring out exactly what order to do things and which muscles are mostly affected by pool playing. So hopefully we get that ball rolling soon.
Yeah. All right. So you guys have a good night. I appreciate every one of you guys, and like always, I hope to see you. Hope to see you on the pool table.